Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining and welcome back to Wall Street Bullion. Joining us today is Lobo Tiggre, CEO of IndependentSpeculator.com. Lobo, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be on the show.
It's such a huge pleasure having you come down to Wall Street Bullion. I wanted to get you on and talk about everything that's happening in the markets, gold, precious metals, silver. First, let's start off with gold. Where do you think we're heading for gold in 2025?
Well, I don't put out price targets because I don't like being wrong, and I also think it's usually misleading. It's not just my ego. I think it's not helpful, but
Right.
I do think we're headed up, and I'm generally happy if I get the direction right. And I have to say though, I'm even more bullish than I have been in recent weeks or the last couple of months because we had such a great year in 24. We had a hockey stick, right? And asking for two hockey sticks in a row, that's a pretty big ask. But we've got a lot of things that in recent years would have been headwinds for gold, and they just haven't knocked it down. As you and I are recording, it's closer to 2,800 on the futures than 2,700, and that's really striking. With all the surprises, not for us maybe, but for the mainstream, the surprises to the upside in inflation. It's so ironic that gold goes down when inflation goes up, or fear of inflation goes up. That just tells you how much the Fed has distorted the economy, central banks at large. But that relationship has broken down. The last few inflation prints, gold has gone up, and the labor one too. So that's really interesting. If the evil comics traders and LME traders have finally got the memo that inflation is good for gold. Just look at the agenda out of Washington right now. I think that's very good news for gold.
Yeah, absolutely, Lobo. You nailed it. And another surprising thing, I've had so many guests on this month, and they're talking about, usually gold will correlate or will go against the US dollar. If the US dollar goes down, gold goes up. But the US dollar has been going up and has been rising, and you still see gold rise. Uh,
Yeah,
so
that's one of the headwinds I've talked about. I mean, there are times when gold and the dollar clearly respond to the same headline news, the same way. But that's a geopolitical outbreak, some kind of uncertainty. It happened, on October 17. It happened when Putin invaded Ukraine. You see this dramatic safe haven bid. But generally speaking, the dollars gold is priced in dollars, so they should be inversely related. I think that's a mistake, but I don't know how far that rabbit hole you want to go down. But that's part of what I meant. But this higher dollar that we've seen in recent weeks, months, has been weeks, should have been in the current context bearish for gold, and it
right.
wasn't, which tells you a lot about the strength for the bid on gold.
And what about silver, Lobo? Like, are you going to put it in the same ballpark, or what are your thoughts on silver for 2025?
Well, the last time I was on Wall Street Silver, and I talked about how silver was responding more to its industrial side, and I got called a bunch of names, including Darth Silver. So I prepared. I brought my mask
Oh, oh,
in
that's
case
too
you asked
funny.
me about silver, and I got in trouble. So the mask serves two purposes. It fits my name, the Wall Street Silver crowd so lovingly gave me, which has actually been very good for me. And also, if they throw tomatoes, then the mask can intercept us. So here's the update. Oh, I'm actually quite bullish on silver, but even the most ardent silver bulls will tell you that in a new bull market, silver will typically lag gold and then more than catch up in the end. So unless you're thinking that this bull market we've seen for monetary metals is over or almost over, if this is it, if we're approaching the blow off top, then yeah, silver should catch up to gold like now.
Yeah.
But I don't hear many bulls for silver or gold making that argument. I'm certainly not in that case. I'm
As you know, I'm a big fan of gold and silver, so I can't think of a better platform to partner with than Gold Republic. Gold Republic sells and stores physical precious metals in a simple, secure, and safe way with a buyback guarantee. You can access your portfolio 24/7 via their unique app, which is available for iOS and Android. And the best thing is, I can give you a 20% discount on the transaction fees with the code SILVER20. The link is in the description below. Check them out.
looking at the inflationary agenda, 4 more years of it, if not, forever. And other factors make me very bullish on monetary metals. I mean, the central bank buying, that's not going away. There's no policy Washington can adopt that will make stuff that genie back in the bottle. It's
Right.
just not happening, right? So I'm very, very bullish. Silver does still track gold. It is still a monetary metal. I get all that, but but it also, it's very clear there are times where it moves closer to copper than gold, and it's also very clear that the industrial demand is not all bad. If you've got the monetary demand pushing silver up, and you've got I don't know, China going nuts on solar again because they're trying to stimulate the economy or something, then that you could have the best of both worlds. Silver, in the right circumstances, gives you a way to win that gold doesn't. So
Right.
in good circumstances, silver is a win-win metal.
And I'm in the same ballpark as you. I totally agree with you there, Lobo. I guess another question I have for you is, what's concerning you the most right now in the global economy? What do you have your eye on that's actually like really concerning you?
Well, you know, we hard money types tend to see a recession around every corner. And I thought for sure with all the Fed tightening that there would be more consequences for that than we've seen. And
Right.
so it's not just that I don't want to be wrong again. I don't want to guide anybody down the wrong path. So I'm very resistant to say, oh, there's another recession, or this time, it wasn't last year, it wasn't the year before, but this time we're really going to have the recession, right? It may be that Lynn Alden is right if you follow her work, and fiscal dominance has, the money helicopters never stop flying. And so
Yeah.
instead of recession and then money helicopters, we just got constant money helicopters and therefore no, at least undeniable recession. So
Which they can just keep pumping. They can just keep
right.
flowing the money,
Until
keep getting
until it
debt.
breaks down, right? Until they can't, they will. So I don't know how this is going to play out. But actually, so my biggest worry isn't really the recession for 2025. It may happen. Uh, but with the money helicopters already in the air and the very inflationary agenda coming into Washington now, it seems unlikely. It no longer seems the most likely outcome. On the other hand, and maybe I'll wear the mask again if I upset some Trump supporters here. But if Trump has underestimated Putin, it's already been more than 24 hours. Sorry, the war isn't over. But if his idea is, we're going to cut Ukraine off at the knees, no more, sorry, Zelensky, no more bullets, no more missiles, no more money. You better go make a deal with Putin. If that was Trump's idea for how to end this, maybe threaten Putin a little bit too, make them come together. I think that's a very dangerous idea.
Hello, my fellow silver and gold stacker. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching the channel. Subscribe, please like the video, and also hit the notification bell. Keep stacking.
It could backfire.
Yeah.
If he actually does that, and a lot of Republicans are unhappy about all this money going to Ukraine when they have a domestic agenda that's, that needs money, right? So if they cut Ukraine off, I think that creates an incentive for Putin to push harder.
Yeah, of
If his
course.
enemy's been cut off at the knees, why would he negotiate? Why would he back off?
It'll
He
be
goes,
easier. It'll be easier for him to just take over, of course.
so well, I don't know, easier said than done. I don't think the Ukrainians will give up either. And by the way, if the US backs off, this is on Europe's doorstep. I don't know that they want to back off just because the US does.
Right.
But where I'm going with this, though, is actually not so much Ukraine. And I have friends in Ukraine, former students. I care about them deeply, but it is sort of over there for America. And, even for Europe, it's on their doorstep, but it's not like, the industrial heartland of Europe. That's another country that's in trouble too,
Right.
right? So where I'm going with this, though, is let's say Trump, forces negotiations and Ukraine comes with a deal with Russia at very disadvantageous terms. What message does that send to Xi over in China about Taiwan? So I'm not trying to predict, World War III and missiles flying or anything like that. But you asked me what worries me the most. And what worries me the most is if we defund Ukraine, that sends a green light for aggression to the other side of the world. And that could have huge economic, geopolitical as well. But even if they don't have a full scale invasion, but if they really ratchet things up over there and the Taiwan Strait gets shut down like the Houthis or something,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
there would be seriously bad news for the global economy if anything, remotely bad happened there.
Yeah, absolutely. There's such a high risk of all of this playing out if you do back down, or if you do just stop giving that support. But Lobo, before you go, I would really love for people to connect with you. I'm going to put your links in the description below. But where can people connect with you?
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's independentspeculator.com. And the quick version is if you sign up for our free weekly letter called the Speculator's Digest, you may or may not agree with my thinking. I just gave you a couple things you might disagree with.
The tomatoes
Um,
are coming.
the tomatoes are coming, but it's free. And I do promise we won't spam you. You get one email per week, take it or leave it and see if, I can help you out as a due diligence guy.
Everyone watching, I highly recommend to go check out the independentspeculator.com. I'm going to put the links in the description below. And Lobo, thank you so much for coming down to Wall Street Bullion. I'd love to have you down on soon.
Sure, we got a lot of other metals to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to you soon, Lobo.